Welcome back. I was in the middle of a much longer video analyzing a recent rapid game when I came across something pretty surprising, and so I'm just going to focus on that one part of the game. My opponent was rated about 150 points higher than me, and in fact recently, but just a week or two earlier, had been rated about 300 points higher than me in rapid on lead chess. And I'm just going to show you the short part instead of the long part, so you're welcome. Okay, here in this position I have just blundered. I'm not sure exactly what's a blunder about this, but Stockfish says I'm down -6 at this point. And what my opponent should do is just play this knight back here to challenge my knight. And it says I would take and they would take, but I'm not sure. I think if they did that, we're even on material here. So I think I might be tempted to take my knight away or find some other way to defend that square, perhaps bringing my queen over so that if they, oh no, their queen would be defending that square. I don't know what I would have done. But what my opponent did instead was bring their queen over, which is their second best move, aiming at this pawn that I've just moved up and I'm not really able to defend right now. Well, I am able to defend it, which is what I did, but I'm still down -5. So I brought my queen over to defend this pawn. Again, we're even on material. I'm not sure what's going on. We both have plenty of time. And I'm not sure what my opponent thought was going to happen here. What I thought might happen is that I might advance this pawn, depending on what they did. Because I thought they can't take because they're pinned. My queen is pointing at their king. So if I advance this pawn, and they probably wouldn't take with their queen either, because I could take with my knight. So that was my plan, depending on what they did. But what they did was move their king back. And now, I don't know this at the time, but Stockfish says this takes us to dead even, very close to drawn. If you can see Stockfish down here below me, it's very close to 0. What I'm supposed to do now is move this bishop. Honestly, I don't know what would be so great about that, but what I did was this. Again, not sure exactly what my idea was, but I know that this king is vulnerable. I have a knight plugged in here. During the game, I thought I have chances. And what my opponent did next was move that knight, taking this pawn, threatening my bishop. So I played one of my better moves, which is to get my bishop out of danger, but I'm also guarding this square right here with both my knight and my bishop. They could, I guess, plug that with a pawn, and yeah, Stockfish says that was their best move, but we're drawn. They played another one of their better moves, which was to take that rook, which I took back, and they took back with check. My only recourse now is to take with my queen. So I did. Still drawn. Dead drawn. Stockfish says if we're both careful, we should end in a draw. Okay, so we both played drawing moves. Nobody can make any advances here. I can go in here and check because my knight and my pawn guard that square, but if they move out of check, then their queen's going to be pointing at it. Okay, they played one of their better moves, which was to get this knight up here. I'm not sure exactly what that does. I guess it goes after this pawn. Okay. Well, my only move that draws in this position, if I do anything else, I give the advantage back to my opponent. But I went in there to check. And I guess the reason Stockfish says this is drawn is because it's basically perpetual check at this point. Well, what they did was they went up here. And do you see it? Mate in 1. I didn't see it. Look at that. That's checkmate. I had kind of thought that they were going to move out of check. And I was going to keep checking them. So that's what I did. And they went there, and I went there, and they went down, and I checked them, and they went back, and I checked them, and that was a repetition of positions, so we drew. But yeah. So when they did that, I missed a mate in 1. I could have beaten this opponent who was rated quite a bit higher than me, but instead we repeated, we drew. I actually gained 4 points for drawing because they were rated so much higher than me. I wasn't in time trouble here. I need to continue to impress this lesson when I am attacking the enemy king and I have lots of time, especially if I'm expecting to draw by repetition. I can stop and pause and see if there's another option. Was there something else I could have done? It says it would have been even slightly to my advantage to take their f-pawn at this point, even if I didn't see the mate in 1, rather than repeating. So yeah, I could have looked around. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you're not missing as many mate in 1s as I seem to be missing lately. We'll see you next time.